Most readers who have studied psychology are familiar with Freudian interpretation of mind. Traditional training and skills development in various organizations address only the conscious mind, which is just the 10% of your potential. 90% of potential can be actualized only when we address the samskaras. This huge potential can be experienced through meditation techniques. To give you an example of what I just said, I would like you to take 15 minutes of your time on a simple exercise. Take a white sheet of paper and just write down whatever comes to your mind. Please do not edit, filter or pass judgment on any of the thoughts that come to your mind. Just behave as though a thought recorder is attached to you and you are jotting down whatever comes to your mind. Now after 15 minutes, put the pen aside and read what you have just written. If you have honestly recorded whatever came to your mind, you will realize the kind of stray, unconnected, illogical thoughts that go through the mind. These thoughts are like friction in a machine. They make the machine very inefficient and unproductive. This is the root cause of low productivity. The tool for elimination of these stray thoughts arising from samskaras is what we call meditation. Once these thoughts are eliminated, it is like reducing the friction in a machine and allowing the machine to be more efficient, more productive. Various people from different nationalities, background, economic background go through process of eliminating samskaras in our meditation programs. Many people come and tell me, in addition to improving their overall productivity, they are able to maintain better interpersonal relationship, feel less stress and be more creative and innovative in their personal and professional lives. I've had conversation with few leaders, few noble people on this subject, where they have shared with me amazing evidences of improved innovation and intuitive skills developed as a result of becoming free of samskaras. So we can now elaborate on the equation to describe productivity. We can restate it as productivity is equals to output divided by input. So input is intellect plus technical skills plus samskaras, these three. As you know, we live with our mind 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. For most people, mind is constantly running, analyzing, passing judgment on individual, having various emotions and responding to situation, all of which is dependent on the level of samskaras that may be haunting us. Without the loads of these samskaras, you will find that your innate intellect and the skills you have developed through your education, training or life experiences will directly be used in delivering the output instead of being knocked around by your mind. You will see the productivity simply shoots up. This is an area that has mostly not been looked by companies and organizations, but there are simple tools and techniques from the Eastern mystics who have developed techniques to cleanse the mind of these samskaras. Understand? This is not a mystical zone you are going to enter into. Be very clear, the skills of intuition resides in all of us. They have had been clouded by the impact of samskaras. Let me now describe how mind-body system that is free from samskaras will improve intuition and innovation. Intuition is a wonderful subject. If you ask modern day CEOs how they took major decisions in their life, what caused the turning point in their lives, again and again their answer surprises us. Again and again they tell us that their success came from something beyond their intellect that gave them the energy or the gut to take the decision. This is not just the case with successful CEOs, it is with the scientists also. Whether we believe it or not, or accept it or not, there is something called intuition. Of course, even Einstein says this is a gift because we are not sure when it comes, whether it come or not come, but yogis, the mystics, say again and again, You can work for it and you can be sure about it. You don't have to think that intuition is a gift. You can work for it, it can become a part of your life. Whatever new things have happened only through intuition. Only when something has beyond your intellect and your whole being is integrated. When you are at your peak, something opens. You may call it revelation or intuition, which happens beyond intellect. Mystics have again and again said that it is a science. If you can tune yourself to this intuition or this energy which is continuously available in your being, you can use this in your regular life. Mystics again and again say it is an incident and you can make it happen. They know to make it happen. We will see how you can awaken that power inside your being. We will see how the intuitive skills can be linked to the working of mind, which I discussed earlier. Before we discuss intuition in greater detail, let us first dispel the myths that intuition is some kind of a fluke of nature. I would like you to understand that intuition is a skill that can be developed just as any other skills that you acquire. It comes from you, from no one else, because we have not experienced that zone, that part, that dimension of our being. We have forgotten it. We may not be able to know logically, but we cannot brush it aside. When you know the logic, you call it an incident. When you don't know the logic, you call it a coincidence. Nothing can happen without a cause on planet Earth. It is always cause and effect. When you know the cause and effect link, you call it an incident. When you don't know, you call it a coincidence. The process in the gap between the I and mind is conscious. You are aware of this process. It happens with your awareness, but the mind to ego process, you are not aware about it. Many a time the process happens without your awareness. You decide against your logic, you decide against your thought process. For example, according to the data that you have collected, you know that smoking is injurious to health. It is not good for you, body or mind. But when the mind takes an unconscious leap to the ego, you simply take the decision to smoke. The conscious process says no, it is not good for health. But the unconscious process says, it doesn't even say. It just takes the decision and you execute. These decisions are not under your control because the unconscious is very powerful. The unconscious can be used in three ways: at instinct level, intellect level, and intuition level. As long as the unconscious is filled with negative memories and restlessness, it works at the instinct level. You decide just instinctively. You don't even know why you are angry. Suddenly you burst. Sometimes when you see some activities or some words that you speak, you feel it is not you. You do something and then you think, this is not me. How did I do it? How did I allow this to happen? This happens because the unconscious is working in the instinct level. Many times you just associate things without even any logical connection. For example, if you have been disturbed by someone who was wearing a white dress, the moment you see somebody wearing a white dress, the past memory comes up and you feel the anger. This is the instinct level. Without your conscious mind, without even you understanding, just like that it happens. If your unconscious is loaded with some samskaras, if your unconscious is restless, you will be at the instinct level. The next is the intellect level. You are conscious but you don't have enough enthusiasm. You just go with a conscious mind but you are not creative, not innovative. You don't take big steps. You don't grow. It is just like a faithful servant, as Einstein says, the intellect is a faithful servant. You can be a servant throughout your life. You can be just a servant but nothing more. or big can happen through you, you will be collecting the data, processing it and delivering it. Nothing more than a computer. If you are standing only at the intellect level, you are not using your potential to the maximum, to the extent to which it is supposed to be. The next is intuition. To understand intuition, you need to go deep into this whole science. Only then you will be able to understand what I mean by the word intuition. Intuition is something which happens to you beyond your intellect. Suddenly you know for sure that this is the right thing and you have enough energy also to do it, but you don't know the step, how you came to the conclusion, but you know for sure that this is right. This energy is needed whenever you are faced with a situation where there is no precedence, when you are stuck with minimum data and you need to take decision, or you have a lot of choices and you are not able to decide what you are supposed to do. In these types of situation, the intuition energy can help you. The intuitive powers can give you the courage, give you the right choice. Intuition again and again gives you the energy not only to decide but to execute what you have decided. Now the next question, how to awaken the intuition, how to awaken the intuitive power. If you can consciously give rest to it for a while, the energy which is in that unconscious level will open up. And usually when unconscious energies opens up, first whatever we suppressed will come out. Next, a pure energy which we call intuition will start to express. When pure energy starts expressing from the unconscious level, you don't use the unconscious at the instinct level or intellectual level. You use it for intuition. The higher level energy starts happening in you. And of course, above all, the mystics demonstrated to us over thousands of years that the higher level energy heals you physically, mentally and emotionally. Apart from healing, this can help reduce the stress and help decide spontaneously. Spontaneity has nothing to do with data which you collect. It is something to do with the way in which you process the data. The same data, same information can be processed in many ways. Intuition is all about how you process and how you come to the conclusion beyond your intellect. We can prepare ourselves, we can tune ourselves to this intuitive energy through techniques and methods which we call meditation. In the East, we use the word meditation to tune ourselves with the higher energy which is in our being, which continuously invites you again and again to experience it. Whenever we find time, sit by yourself. You can always see we give appointment to everyone, but we never give appointment to ourselves. If you have given appointment to yourself, you can always see that some sort of your being wants to express, wants to do something more, but we never give a chance or time to that part, to that portion of our being. We are so caught up with our intellect, we think that our intellect is the ultimate. But again and again, mistakes prove something more than intellect is possible. In any discovery or invention, you can see that the role of intuition is always there. Whether it is Albert Einstein or Isaac Newton, they have had something beyond intellect. Something beyond intellect has happened in them. This same energy exists in all of us. This energy can also express in all of us. If we can tune ourselves to that energy. Tuning ourselves to that energy is what we call as meditation. I will share a meditation technique which is called as Maha Mantra meditation. The Maha Mantra meditation is an ancient Tibetan Buddhist technique to awaken the Anahata chakra located at the heart center. This meditation makes your mind firm and stable. Your mind is all the time oscillating with thoughts. This meditation makes your mind still by making it either enter into the zone of no mind. It is like jumping board into infinity. It should be done on an empty stomach, preferably early in the morning or 2 hours after any meal. It can be done either alone or with a group. When done with a group, it effectively energizes the place where it is done. Instructions. So it is a 30-minute exercise in 2 steps. So step 1 is a 20-minute duration. Sit in crossed leg in a comfortable position on the floor. Your head and neck spine should be in a straight line. If you are not able to sit on the floor, you may sit on a chair, feel relaxed and close your eyes. Even after we close our eyes, we see forms and images form behind the eyelid. To handle this, imagine that your eyeballs have become stone-like. Just harden them with mental pressure. Then the images will die. The moment you close your eyes is very closely related to the movement of thoughts in your mind. That is why you are asked to arrest the movement of your eyeballs. Don't be too worried about keeping them arrested. Just proceed with the meditation. Keep your lips together and produce the sound M, from inside. If you were to put your face inside an empty aluminium vessel and making a humming sound, the sound generated would be like this. Note that it is not hum or om. It is simply keeping your lips together and producing the sound. This humming should be as lengthy as possible. Before taking the next breath, it should be as deep as possible from the navel center and as loud as possible. Don't make an effort to take in a deep breath after every The body itself will take breaths when needed. Don't become tense. Put your whole being and energy into creating this vibration. Just become the humming. Let your whole body be filled with the vibrations of humming. After some time, you will feel that the humming continues without your effort, and that you have become simply a listener to it. The humming is a powerful means of bringing awareness to the present moment. If you hum intensely, you cannot have any thought at that time. So your thoughts per second, the TPS that we explained earlier, automatically comes down. The energy generated by humming cleanses the energy blocks in mind-body system. When you are intensely humming, all your ideas which you have about you will be completely shaken like an earthquake. This is a technique for a mind quake. So step 2, which is duration for 10 minutes. After stopping the humming, keep your eyes closed and remain silent and inactive with a smiling face and a blissful mood. If any thought comes to you, let it come. Simply watch your mind as if you are watching a television, without resisting your thoughts or passing any judgment on them. Remain silent and blissful. During this time, the energy created by humming will enter all the corners of your being and cleanse it deeply. It establishes you in the awareness of the present moment. This awareness is all that is needed to dissolve the negativities, bring clarity, and enables you to experience your true potential. Well, thank you for joining. Namaskar.